Lore Master Jito here. I'm the librarian of Azeroth, and I'm bringing you the lore straight from the books. Today we're reading the first section of Libram of the Dead, written by Ilana Dreadmore, the head archivist of the Ebon Blade. She's located right here in the Order Hall next to a bookcase on the lower level. Hi, Ilana. Great work. Anyway, this section covers Maw of the Damned, an axe born from obsession and leading to an eternity of suffering for the creator. If stalking and obsession or torture are not your thing, then I don't recommend this book. Click above to check out another fascinating artifact weapon like Pholomalorn, the storied blood elf sword that went toe-to-toe with the Lich King himself. If you've decided to stick around, let's get into it. Mere weapons don't often inspire fear in demons. The Maw of the Damned is an exception. Its name is spoken with equal parts dread and awe among the Burning Legion's faithful. Even the demons disagree on how many lives the Maw of the Damned has ended. There's only one who knows the truth. His name is Netrazaar, and his soul is bound to the blade itself. He is what inspires fear in demons. They know of the eternal hunger that burns in his soul, a hunger so great it cannot distinguish between friend and foe. In the Legion's hands, Netrazaar's spirit consumed entire civilizations. In someone else's hands, he would not hesitate to do the same to the Legion. He would relish every moment. Despite its long history of bloodshed, the Maw of the Damned was not created for genocide. It was forged to take a single life, that of the great demon lord Kil'jaeden. When he joined the demonic Burning Legion, many Eredar blindly followed his path. One of the first to do so was a gifted smith named Netrius. He adored Kil'jaeden, and he spent his life seeking the Eredar leader's approval. Netrius saw pledging himself to the Legion as the ultimate expression of his loyalty. As a reward for his loyalty, Netrius was remade in the Legion's all-consuming Fellfire. Volatile magics blazed through his soul, warping his mind and body forever. Netrius, now known by the name Netrazaar, was never the same again. Even his feelings toward Kil'jaeden changed. What was once admiration had twisted into a dangerous obsession. It wasn't enough to simply win Kil'jaeden's approval, he needed more. An idea took shape in Netrazaar's mind. To satisfy his obsession, he would create a weapon to consume Kil'jaeden's life force. That weapon would one day become known as the Maw of the Damned. A quick aside here, you can find Crystalsmith Netrius as an echo on Kil'jaeden's terrace in Eradath. However, this is only possible during the world quest Bully Pulpit. Netrazaar became a smith of much renown in the Burning Legion. His war machines terrorized worlds. His blades brought ruin to entire civilizations. Yet, in truth, most of these weapons were merely experiments in his quest for the perfect tool with which to consume Kil'jaeden. Success hinged on finding a material that could draw out and contain the Demon Lord's life force. Netrazaar spent years searching for exotic ores, most of which proved useless. He made a promising discovery on Nihilum, the Doom World. Long ago, a war between the Legion's ruler Sargeras and his fellow Titans had shaken the fabric of creation around Nihilum. Their apocalyptic battle had darkened the world and infused its metal ores with otherworldly properties. When Netrazaar mined these metals, he found them nearly indestructible. In just the right light, the materials reflected brief images of the battle fought between Sargeras and the Titans. Most important of all, these metals also leached away the essence of any living thing that touched them. For the first time in years, Netrazaar felt joy. He had finally found what he needed. Netrazaar shaped the Maw of the Damned on one of the great demon forges of Argus, homeworld of the Eredar. When crafting other weapons, he often infused them with cruelty and malice. Such was not the case with the Maw. Netrazaar poured all of his admiration and twisted obsession into the blade. He labored day and night, pushing himself to the brink of collapse. Perfection was his goal. He would accept nothing less for the weapon that would kiss Kil'jaeden's flesh. The axe would leach away every ounce of the Demon Lord's life force and channel it directly into Netrazaar. Nothing would go to waste. He also enchanted the weapon's haft so that when he wielded the axe, its metal would not drain his essence. When the work was done, Netrazaar had produced one of the greatest weapons in the Legion's arsenal. Nothing like it had ever been seen before, and nothing like it would ever be seen again. The Maw the Damned's first victim was not Kil'jaeden. It was one of Netrazar's servants. Netrazar commanded dozens of Moarg, highly resourceful demons who specialized in engineering and blacksmithing. All of them looked up to the Eredar smith with awe, but he cared little for his followers. Like hammers and tongs, they were simply tools at his disposal. To test the Maw, Netrazar subjected a pair of Moarg to gruesome experiments. He slowly cut their flesh with the axe, studying how quickly it drained their life force. The Maw worked just as planned. The demon's vital energies passed through the blade and flooded in Netrazar. Of the two Moarg experimented on by Netrazar, one survived. His name was Gorlix, and he was the Eredar smith's most devoted follower. At least, he had been. The experiments had left Gorlix shriveled and disfigured. His admiration for Netrazar darkened into a hatred hotter than any demon forge. Gorlix did not have the physical strength to rise against Netrazar. Even if he could, rebelling would mean a fate worse than death. Netrazar was one of the Eredar, one of Kil'jaeden's chosen. The broken Moarg vowed to find another way to exact vengeance on his master. He watched Netrazar's every movement, seeking a weakness. Over time, Gorlix discovered something odd. Netrazar's axe was powerful, and yet he would not use it in battle. He kept it hidden from other demons, save his Moarg servants. What was its purpose, if not to strike down the Legion's enemies? It dawned on Gorlix that Netrazar had no intention of ever using the axe for the Legion. He had crafted it for another purpose. Netrazar was pleased with the Maw, and he decided the time had come to use it on Kil'jaeden. He would present the axe as a gift to his master and then strike at the unsuspecting demon lord. Perhaps it would have worked if not for Gorlix. When the Moarg learned of the meeting with Kil'jaeden, the last puzzle piece slid into place. He finally realized the true purpose of Netrazar's axe. He warned Kil'jaeden of the impending betrayal, and the demon lord plotted his own in return. Kil'jaeden met with Netrazar just as planned, but before the smith could present his gift, the demon lord struck. He used his magics to lock Netrazar's spirit in place, while Gorlix took up the Maw. As Netrazar's screams of torment echoed over Argus, Gorlix slowly cut away his master's flesh. He did not stop until only bone remained. Netrazar's fate was worse than death. Kil'jaeden made sure of that. He locked Netrazar's howling spirit within the smith's own skull. Then he ordered Gorlix to fuse the bone onto the Maw of the Damned. In this way, Netrazar would be one with his beloved axe forever. The weapon's metals would constantly drain his spirit, leaving him racked with hunger. No amount of life force would ever satisfy him. To the contrary, the more Netrazar consumed, the worse his pangs of hunger would grow. Kil'jaeden gifted the axe to Gorlix as a reward for his loyalty. He gave the Moarg only one specific order: keep Netrazar's spirit fed to continue his torture. Gorlix experimented with the axe, using it to draw the life essence from the Legion's prisoners. The energies drained by the Maw the Damned were often too much for Netrazar's spirit to consume. What was left over flowed into Gorlix himself, and strength gradually returned to his broken form. As word of the axe and its origins spread, demons referred to its prisoner as Netrazar the Damned. It was from this moniker that Gorlix renamed the weapon. He called it the Maw the Damned. On a small world under siege by the Legion, Gorlix learned of the Maw's true power and potential. He and a team of Moarg had been tasked with building a citadel to serve as a base of operations. In one battle, his stronghold came under attack from the world's brave defenders. A massive breach opened in the wall. If the Moarg could not repair it soon, the entire citadel would fall to the Legion's enemies. Gorlix volunteered to defend the breach while the other Moarg worked. Hundreds of enemies stormed the opening in the wall, howling battle cries in their alien tongue. Gorlix stood fast, rending any who came within the Maw's deadly reach. He never flagged. On the contrary, every kill infused his body with greater strength and vitality. When the last attacker had fallen, the other Moarg found that they no longer needed to repair the breach. Gorlix had filled it with corpses. The more Gorlix used the Maw, the more it changed him. He grew into a hulking mass of taut muscle, dwarfing every other Moarg in size. His monstrous appearance earned him a new name, the Flesh Ripper. Despite the power the Maw gave him, there were times when Gorlix did not use the axe. Sometimes he would watch from a distance while the Legion besieged new worlds. All the while, Gorlix would taunt Netrazar's spirit, describing the battle and all the lives lost in great detail. When the Maw began to physically tremble in Gorlix's hands, he knew that Netrazar's spirit was suffering. The Moarg found as much satisfaction from these acts of torture as he did from the imbibing of life forces from his victims. On the world of Centralis, the Maw the Damned secured its place as a weapon of legend. Centralis was home to a mighty warrior people. They resisted the Legion's attempts at conquest for much longer than other races, yet like all who stood against the demons, they were doomed to fall eventually. Rather than simply destroy Centralis's inhabitants, Kil'jaeden decided they would make fitting victims for the Maw of the Damned. Their potent life essence would engorge Netrazar's spirit and push him to new realms of torment. At Kil'jaeden's command, Gorlix traveled to Centralis. He marched at the head of a vast Legion army, maw in hand. The blade bit through the armor, flesh, and souls of all who fell under his gaze. No corner of Centralis was safe from Gorlix's reach. No creature, not even the smallest wild beast, was shown mercy. When his long march had ended, only a dead world remained at his back. After the massacre of Centralis, Gorlix continued learning how to maximize the Maw's destructive power. So effective was he at wielding the axe that he became one of the Legion's most invaluable tools. Rather than waste Gorlix's talents on minor battles, Kil'jaeden saved the Moarg for special tasks. This allowed Kil'jaeden to keep a close watch over the Maw and its whereabouts. Though he trusted Gorlix, he could not bear the thought of the axe falling into enemy hands. While in Gorlix's care, the Maw claimed countless victims. No matter how much Netrazar's spirit feasted, his wild screams continued echoing through the axe. Even demons began to fear the Maw and its cursed prisoner. They had seen the weapon consume entire races, an entire world, yet it still wanted more. Whether Netrazar's hunger will ever die is unknown. And that was the Maw the Damned from Libram of the Dead in the Death Knight Order Hall. Let me know your thoughts on the lore we uncovered today in the comments below. If you're craving more lore, here's a few recommendations from the collection to browse. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to activate your library card and check out more books with me, the Librarian of Azeroth. Thanks for watching.